Ozempic.
Ozempic. It is literally the hottest drug in the country right now.
The medication works, but only as long as you take it.
Everybody looks so great. When I look around this room, I can't help but wonder, is Ozempic right for me?
A weight loss drug called Ozempic has been taking the world by storm.
So I was on it for, I think, a week. I realized that's what was making me nauseous. But yeah, the whole town is on Ozempic. My doctor had given it to me a while ago and said, oh, if you ever want to lose a couple of pounds in a week, this is what it is.
How long have you been on the Ozempic?
6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yes. It's actually Bonjoro. It's another part of it.
Oh, that's the amped up version.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
You're
That's the fast forward to Skinnyville.
You're kidding. And
Reunions in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
right.
Celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Elon Musk have been dosing themselves with Ozempic and are losing weight like crazy.
I am thin. I'm thin. Hey, man, where's the apple pie?
This drug is being pushed as a true magic pill that will literally make you thinner and hotter overnight. That this is the future of civilization. That we may be looking at a world where obesity will be a thing of the past. That no longer will you have to worry about eating right. Just stuff your face as much as you want and this drug will do the rest. And guess what? It really does work.
We have used this drug clinically in a number of patients. Does it work? Yes, it does work. This is a profound appetite suppressant.
But what they won't tell you is that Ozempic is extremely dangerous. These drugs have been clinically proven to cause serious conditions like ischemia of the intestines, chronic malnutrition, kidney disease, and thyroid cancer. We're talking potential permanent damage to your body.
There is an FDA black box warning on Ozempic stating very clearly that if you have any history of thyroid tumor or a family history of thyroid tumor, you better not take this.
One woman took Ozempic to lose weight and can't even keep food down anymore. She literally can't eat.
Some weeks I can vomit up to 200 times.
These drugs destroy your insides, and some people said they gained even more weight when they went off it.
What happens when you stop? Do you balloon back?
A follow-up study in 2022 showed that 2/3 of the individuals that lost their weight, guess what, when they stopped? It all came back, including their hypertension and their diabetes.
And yet, they're still pushing this drug. Why? Because, think about it. If you can convince the entire population that obesity isn't your fault, if you can tell the masses that you don't need to exercise or fix your diet and hormones, all you gotta do is take this drug, but the moment you get off this drug, you'll gain all the way back and more, well, you will turn the entire population into your customers for life. In fact, it's so profitable that the maker behind Ozempic has already exploded to the second largest corporation in the EU. That's why they're pushing Ozempic.
Ozempic also slows down how fast your stomach empties food, and this is called gastric emptying.
Welcome to Evil Food Supply, and this is the big Ozempic scam. American spends over $100 on big pharma drugs like Ozempic every month. But what's even crazier is that people spend twice as much as that on online subscriptions, which is why we use today's sponsor, Rocket Money, to manage and cancel subscriptions that we don't need. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. This personal finance app allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, build a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one place. We also love using Rocket Money to negotiate our bills down for us. Simply upload photos of your bills to the app, and Rocket Money's team of negotiators will get to work negotiating your bills down for you. So if you want to save more and spend less, join the 5 million members using Rocket Money today. We've got the hookup. Go to rocketmoney.com/evilfoodsupply or click the link below to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/evilfoodsupply to get started for free.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone.
Ozempic was first released in 2017, not as a weight loss solution, but as a diabetes medication that lowers blood sugar. But this diabetes medication also had a very handy side effect: weight loss. Millions of people with type 2 diabetes were relying on Ozempic to keep themselves alive, and a lot of them lost weight while they were on it. And so, word started to spread, and doctors started prescribing it off-label for weight loss.
There was literally a run to doctors to prescribe this medication for them off-label in order to help them with their weight loss.
A drug shortage is impacting people living with diabetes, and some pharmacies say they just can't get it in stock.
CBS 17's Dina Harley is in Garner with advice from pharmacists.
A shortage of the drug Ozempic.
Just recently, in the last 2 weeks, it's been a problem. Higher doses are the problem right now.
Impacting people living with diabetes. Craig Illig with White Oak Pharmacy in Garner says they just can't get enough of it from wholesalers.
I check throughout the day, probably 7 or 8 times a day with the wholesaler, and sometimes it'll pop in the middle of the day, and we try to order what we can.
And the results were pretty staggering. In one study, participants lost about 15 pounds after just 3 months, and about 27 pounds after 6 months. And that's without any annoying exercising or dieting. And those are just the faceless studies. The testimonials that started going viral online were even crazier. And the way Ozempic works is actually very simple. When you finish a meal, your gut releases a hormone called GLP-1. This hormone signals to your body that you're full, so you're not hungry anymore. Ozempic is basically an artificial version of this GLP-1 hormone. So by injecting yourself with this artificial hormone, you're forcing your body to feel full, even if you haven't eaten anything all day. So basically, Ozempic artificially tricks your brain into not feeling hungry, which will naturally lend to you not eating as much and thus losing weight. It's as close to a magic pill for obesity as we've ever gotten.
It's just like an EpiPen for Wegovy, let's say, for a month. You open one, you take it.
Oh, in your stomach?
In your stomach. You take it, go like that, press.
That's it.
That's it.
So it's no wonder why Ozempic went so viral. Now everyone was begging their doctors for Ozempic, not because they have diabetes and will die without it, but because they want to lose a few pounds before their wedding. Or if they're a celebrity, they want to get thin for a new movie role.
Perhaps more disturbing to me is the people who are reaching out to me who are frankly not overweight remotely, but are saying like, I really want to lose 10 pounds to look good on my vacation, and I should be taking this, right?
I was reading something that there's a lot of women who are taking some new, there's some like an injection that kills your appetite, and they're doing it, what is it called?
I actually know exactly what you're talking about. It mimics had you had like the stomach surgery, like in terms of appetite curbing.
Right.
But Ozempic was still a drug labeled for diabetes. The company that makes this drug is Novo Nordisk. And as Novo Nordisk, as you noticed this wild Ozempic craze, you knew you were sitting on a gold mine. The only problem was, there were silly little doctors who were refusing to prescribe Ozempic for weight loss because their patients didn't have diabetes. Those unethical criminals! So you decided to create Wegovy, an even more potent version of Ozempic specifically marketed for weight loss. This drug is literally the same as Ozempic, just with more semaglutide, the GLP-1 hormone that's in Ozempic. And lucky for you, Wegovy was happily approved by the FDA for weight loss. So now, you didn't have to worry about those stubborn doctors anymore. Now, anyone can get the Wegovy pen, young and old. With the FDA by your side and a sexy new brand name, you as Novo Nordisk started pouring millions of dollars into your advertising campaign.
A big price tag even for Big Pharma. Novo Nordisk spent more than $11 million on wooing prescribers to promote popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic.
We're talking $11 million to literally wine and dine doctors. That breaks down to 457,000 meals. Nearly 12,000 prescribers received free food from Novo Nordisk more than a dozen times last year. And more than 200 prescribers received more than 50 free meals and snacks from the company. And one doctor received 193 free meals. And guess what? A simple meal or two like that worked. with Novo Nordisk's stock just continuing to climb. While at the same time, more and more patients started complaining about some brutal side effects. Because your stomach is staying fuller longer, all that food just sits there and rots. Which is why one woman named Emily Wright reported that when she took Ozempic, her breath started to smell like sulfur and rotten eggs. She also would constantly throw up, and when she did, it would be food from 3 or 4 days prior. Yeah, some of these people on Ozempic are walking around with old, decaying food in their stomachs.
Because if you eat a lot of food and take this medication that slows your gastric emptying, it's gonna make you feel worse and you're gonna have more side effects. More nausea, more vomiting, more potential diarrhea and constipation. People are actually talking about these side effects who are eating their normal portions or even eating reduced portions. So imagine if you were to overeat thinking you can while taking this medication. That's a cause for concern.
While at the same time, since you're not eating as much, people usually develop malnutrition. And malnutrition can lead to a ton of horrible health conditions like loss of muscle mass, heart disease, infertility, hair loss, anxiety, depression. I mean, come on, wouldn't you be okay with experiencing these things so you can look better on Instagram?
Almost without exception, every patient we've put on this drug has lost muscle mass, and they have lost it at a rate that alarms me.
But wait, it gets worse. These drugs have been linked to a rare form of thyroid cancer, pancreatitis, disease of the gallbladder, hypoglycemia, and kidney failure. And just as we were writing this video, the FDA announced that another potential side effect is intestinal blockage. Intestinal blockage is exactly what it sounds like. It's when something blocks your intestine. This can lead to severe belly pain, cramping, vomiting, not being able to fart or poop, and, oh yeah, if your intestine is fully blocked, it can lead to death. Sounds fun, doesn't it? And these are just the side effects we know about. One woman named Jacqueline Bjorklund developed something called gastroparesis, also known as paralysis of the stomach, after being on Ozempic for over 1 year. She said it caused severe vomiting, stomach pain, gastrointestinal burning, and even caused her teeth to fall out due to excessive vomiting. Another woman named Joni Knight was hospitalized because of how badly Ozempic destroyed her digestion. The only way she could eat again without throwing up was to physically fix her stomach with bypass surgery. And according to clinical studies, 1 in 4 people who take these medications will experience some form of nausea or stomach issue. 1 in 4. Those are not good odds. And most people who get on the Ozempic train quickly realize that it's just making them scrawnier and more ugly.
People who have taken Ozempic and have lost large amounts of weight developed issues with how they looked. And some people have gone so far to claim that taking Ozempic and losing weight from it has made their face look like it's actually melting.
This medication tends to cause very quick weight loss and give many of its users what's known as kind of a pancake butt or a flatter butt.
And these are just the short-term side effects. The long-term side effects are even more devastating. The thing about Ozempic is that once you start taking it, you can't stop. If you do, you might end up gaining even more weight than before.
It was making me think I wasn't hungry for so long. I lost some weight. I didn't want to be like obsessed with being on it long term, and I was like, I bet the second I go off I'm gonna get starving again. I did, and my binging got so much worse. So then I kind of blamed Ozempic.
So it doesn't work when you get off of it.
I gained double the weight back.
And the reason why is simple. Ozempic is kind of like the equivalent of getting testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT. TRT is very popular right now. It's when you get prescribed extra testosterone. It's good for men that have lower testosterone levels because of old age. But because you're getting all this testosterone from an outside source and not from your own body, your body will stop naturally producing testosterone on its own. This is why men who go on TRT therapy sometimes get shrunken testicles. And it's why men that get on TRT will likely have to keep doing it for the rest of their lives. They're hooked on TRT forever. And the same is true for Ozempic. If you remember from earlier, Ozempic works so well because you're literally just injecting yourself with an artificial version of the GLP-1 hormone that signals to your body that you're full. But by injecting yourself with all this artificial GLP-1, your body will stop producing GLP-1 naturally. And so, once these people get off Ozempic, since their guts aren't producing as much GLP-1 on its own anymore, there's nothing to signal their brain that they're full. So, they end up even more hungry than before.
Trying to stop a medicine like this can result in weight regain and an increase in appetite.
Think about how genius this is. Once you get someone on Ozempic or Wegovy, you're set. They're dependent. And now you have a customer for life. Why do you think there's this sudden push around how obesity isn't your fault? It's genetic. It's a disease. It's because if they can convince you that obesity isn't your fault, well, then I guess I have to buy your drug for life. Listen to this doctor on 60 Minutes.
The biggest misconception about weight and obesity is that somehow your weight is under your control. Obesity is a disease of the pathways that regulate your energy balance.
Wow, your weight is not under your control.
What?
I wonder if she's been paid by the company that created us. Oh, would you look at that? She was. She was paid nearly $10,000 by Novo Nordisk. But here's the pernicious thing about her statement on how your weight is not under your control. It's that she's technically right. Here's the thing. Most fat people are usually not eating a ton more food than the rest of us. And yet, for some reason, no matter how hard they diet, no matter how much they exercise, they can never seem to lose. So to them, obesity doesn't feel like it's their fault. Their weight does not feel like it's under their control.
Virtually every fat person that I know or that I've taken care of, they are not disproportionately eating more than their peers. In some cases, yes.
But why is this the case? Is it because obesity is a disease? No. It's because their hormones are messed up. Hormones are by far the most powerful chemical compound inside your body, and oftentimes they're at the root of most of our health problems. If your hormones are optimized, you'll be healthy. But if your hormones are out of whack, it can cause all sorts of trouble. From low sex drive to fatigue to being tired all the time to hair loss, infertility, anxiety, and depression. And what do you know? One of the things that can happen if your hormones are messed up is not being able to lose weight. And yet, if hormones are at the root of most of our health problems, why doesn't anyone ever care to explain what hormones even are? Think of hormones as chemical messengers. They ride all around your body through your bloodstream, and they attach to cells telling them to produce more of this or to produce less of that, or hey, get rid of the fat in our cells or increase the fat in our cells. So in that sense, this doctor is right. Your weight is not under your control. But not because obesity is this disease that you have no control over. It's because your weight and how much fat you have is regulated first and foremost by your hormones. Your hormones are the base of the pyramid. You can diet and exercise as much as you want, but if your hormones are messed up, it's not gonna matter. So if you want to lose weight, fix your hormones first. The problem is, everything in our modern world is absolutely ravaging our hormones. From all the fake food to all the hormone-disrupting chemicals and stress we're bombarded with on a daily basis. That's why we broke down exactly how to fix your hormones in our latest newsletter that you can get for free by scrolling down and clicking the link below. It takes less than 15 seconds. The Evil Food Insiders newsletter is where you can get alerted on breaking news when it comes to our food supply straight into your inbox. And we've been blown away at how many replies we get every day about how much people love these emails. And you can be a part of it by clicking the square on the screen or with the link below and simply typing in your email.